Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today I'm gonna be canning 3-bean salad, pickled 3-bean salad. And I'm finally settled on the recipe out of the National Center for Home Food Preservation. This is, if you go to their website, you just type in 3-bean salad and this pops up. And it's a printable recipe, everything is free. It's at your fingertips. So it's safe canning. It tells you for the altitudes, everything. So for my altitude, it's going to be a 15-minute canning process, and you can do it in half pints or pints, no larger. Also, for my preference, one recipe does 5 to 6 pints. I'm quadrupling it because part of this is going to be gifts, but this will be for the whole year. So 5 or 6 pints isn't enough if I'm going to go to all this trouble. So I've measured off my green beans because it calls for, the recipe is for 1. So I'm quadrupling everything in the recipe. So it calls for 3 cups of, 1.5 cups of blanched green or yellow beans prepared as below. Then you've got kidney beans, garbanzo beans, onion, and there's another thing. So I've got family that doesn't care for a raw onion flavor or texture. So some of the jars I might leave the onions out and can it according to the recipe otherwise. Taking away a low acid item doesn't hurt the recipe, but adding more of a low acid item could hurt your recipe. So be sure you stick to the recipe. So you've got kidney beans, garbanzo beans, onions, celery. It calls for green bell pepper, but peppers are interchangeable. I'm going to use red bell pepper. They're sweeter. I think that'll be very pretty in the jar and more appealing to our taste. Green bell pepper is not always my favorite for some recipes, and in this recipe I'd really like to keep it a little on the sweet and colorful side. So come on in, let's get to canning some 3-bean salad. First thing I gotta do is blanch my green beans. Okay, so I'm blanching my green beans. They've got to blanch for 3 minutes, and that doesn't seem like that long, but it's perfect. I think this will do. Just so when I get them out of here, oh, they're already turning bright green. So I have 9 cups of green beans. I wanted to do 12, but to do the recipe correctly, it's 9 cups. And sorry, I dropped a green bean on the floor. It's gotta go, got to go. So it is a brisk fall day. I'm super excited to be doing this because it's a little too chilly to be outside working, and I need to get this on the shelf. I want my pantry shelf stocked for winter and for the rest of the fall season and going into spring, so I don't have to think about it, right? And we have lots of choices down in the pantry. All right, if you've ever made 3-bean salad, let me know. So I've also washed 2 cans of each of the garbanzo beans and the kidney beans. So they're rinsed, not washed, but they're drained and rinsed, waiting. I've got all my other veg is chopped up. So really all we're gonna do is, as soon as these are done blanching, to make the brine, which is a combination of 5% acidity, white vinegar, lemon juice, salt, sugar, olive oil, and then all the veggies. Marinate in this for about 12 hours. So we probably won't be canning, even though my canner is full of clean jars ready to heat up. We probably won't be canning this until this afternoon. I may not let it go the full 12 hours, only because now I'm on a time constraint. Had I known, I would have done this last night, but I really didn't. There's so many recipes out there. Some of them have you marinate it and some of them do not. I feel like it's going to marinate in the jar, so a couple hours of marinating should be just fine. And then you heat it back up till it's a hot pack and you're canning it. So, okay, I'll be back when I'm doing something else. And look, I'm wearing an apron. I never wear aprons, but I feel like I need to start only because I can protect them. So I took my blanched green beans and they went directly into some cold water. Not ice water, just to stop that cooking process. And now we're gonna get our mixture together. So I wanna get my pan to make the marinade. And it says, okay, blanch for 3 minutes, cool immediately, rinse kidney beans, did it. Prepare all other vegetables, did it. Combine vinegar, lemon juice, sugar, water, and bring to a boil. Remove from heat, add the oil, salt, and mix well. Add beans, onions, celery, green peppers in the solution. Bring to a simmer and marinate for 12 to 14 hours. So that's what's coming up next. And I need a big pot for that because it's a lot of veg. So I've got my big Cuisinart stock pot here, and I will measure off the sugar, the vinegar, the oil as needed. Let me grab a liquid measure and we'll get to going. So I've got a dry measure and a liquid measure here. And let's start with the sugar. We need 3/4 of a cup. So for a single recipe. So that is a quadrupling that. Whew, that's a lot of sugar. But it's going to be worth it, right? So 1.5 plus 1.5, that's 3 cups of sugar. 3 cups of sugar. Oops, the medicine go down. Okay. And that goes in there. Then I need a whole cup of lemon juice because it calls for a 1/4 cup. So a cup of lemon juice. And you think when you buy these big containers at Costco that, oh, I'll never get through all that lemon juice. There's 2 of them. This bottle is almost empty. And I just bought it, less than a month ago. So canning and preserving, you're gonna go through lemon juice and vinegar. So my vinegar is, 1/2 cup. So I need 2 cups of white distilled, 5% acidity. Make sure it's 5%, ladies and gentlemen, 5%. Okay, and that is a 2 cup. Oops, that's 2 cups. Is that right? Or no, that's 1.5 cups. I need another 1/2 cup. Okay, there's my vinegar. And let's get we got the sugar, we got the vinegar, the lemon juice. Now we need to, water. We need 1.25 cups of water. So that's 5 cups of water. No problem. I'll be back when I've got my 5 cups. So for my water, I'm using Crystal Geyser spring water. So I gotta get 5 cups in here. I don't want to use tap water because of the chlorine that, municipal water. That's just shy. That's 5. Okay, we're gonna be, and you would taste the difference. Trust me on this one. It's worth going through the trouble and the effort. It has. If you have filtered water in your fridge and you're okay with that, or you have well water that you're okay with, by all means, let's do that. We'll do that. Okay, so now we've got our water. Ooh, I'm excited. Ooh, that's a lot of brine. That's good. And then we need, salt and mix well. And I have not done this recipe. So the salt is 1/2 teaspoon. So we're going to be looking at a measuring device. 1/2 teaspoon. So we need 2 teaspoons of salt, which isn't really, it's not that bad. 1 and 2. Okay, and then I got the sugar, lemon juice. We need the oil. So oil is a full cup of oil, and I'm using olive oil. This is my favorite olive oil. You can order this on Amazon. I get it at Costco, but it's got such a mild flavor, but yet just enough, and especially love it in salads. So 1 cup of olive oil. You could use a neutral oil if you prefer. I'm going to use the olive oil. And some recipes don't call for the oil at all, but to me, it isn't a 3-bean salad without some oil in there. It's a vinaigrette marinade, basically. If you were making it fresh from your home canned green beans and all your stuff, your garbanzo beans, and you could do it with all home canned beans, you still would want that oil in there. Okay, now it says to bring that to a boil, remove from the heat. Oh, I added the salt and the oil, never mind. Then add the green beans and bring to a simmer. So let's get this over to the stove. So you want to make sure while this is heating up, you are stirring, because any sugars that sit on the bottom will scorch to the bottom. And you don't want a scorched flavor. You want a sweet and tangy flavor. I'm so excited about this. It smells wonderful. So we'll bring it to a boil, then knock it down, add our stuff. Oh, actually, adding our stuff to it is going to bring it down. And then it calls for us to simmer it. Bring it to a simmer and then cut it off. Once you've brought the cold mixture to a simmer, then you cut off the heat and you let it marinate for 12 to 14 hours in the refrigerator. So then it's got to cool down even further. And tomorrow we'll bring it back out and get it heated through and heat it up, because it is a hot pack method. So you want to make sure it's taking forever to bring this to a boil. But I know my bottom, nothing is stuck on the bottom, so I'm happy with that. My burner is on. It's a temperamental stove. I'm very anxious to have my gas stove back. But and meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're gonna wait for this to come to a boil. And finally, we have a boil going on. So now we've got this. Let's get one little zhuzh around the pot here. Woo-hoo! And it's wafting this beautiful sweet and sour smell. Okay, in goes our green beans. That again is 9 cups. I would have loved to have had 12 cups. The garbanzo beans and kidney beans. And the 2 cups of bell pepper, red or green. I chose red. Peppers are interchangeable. The acidity is the same. So now I need 2 cups of chopped celery, which I chopped more than that. So we're gonna add that in. You can take vegetables out. You just can't add them. You can't add random vegetables in, because you will change the acidity. So we don't want to do that. That's when you get into the danger zone of rebel canning. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful mixture. See, I want more green beans, but oh well, it is what it is. Okay, and then the red onion is 2 cups. And I am going to cut it down for, no, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and either I pick it out for my husband when I open a jar, or he just doesn't eat it. I hope he'll eat it, because I think he'll really like it. The onion is going to add such a good flavor to this marinade. You need that onion flavor. So, and that was just a red or purple onion sliced thin. You could dice it if you wanted. I felt like this would be easier to see, to get it out. If it's cooked well enough, it won't bother him. But Let's bring this back up. Oh, now it's beautiful. Look how pretty. There's plenty of marinade. Yeah, I think that's gorgeous. All right. I'm going to bring this to a simmer, cut it off, and we're going to let it marinate. And I'll be back when we're heating it back up for what? For canning. All right, so we are ready to can. Okay, so this says marinate to 12 to 14 hours. The ball book doesn't have you marinate it. It has you can it straight up. I looked at several recipes, and there's some that do and some that don't. So I split it down the middle, and I marinated it for 4 hours. That's what we're gonna do. So now the jars are hot and ready. I'm using 4 jars lids today. I have a coupon code down below, and so you can receive 10% off your complete order. I'm also standing on a 4 jars anti-fatigue mat. That is the best mat, and I was a hairstylist for 27 years. The best mat I've ever stood on for comfort, long term. When you're standing in the kitchen, it can fatigue you. So that is not what I want. I got my lids soaked in hot water. I need a paper towel, and I'm gonna soak that in vinegar. I have vinegar right here. And I'm going to soak that, little apple cider vinegar, it doesn't matter, just to clean the rims off. So we're going to get the solids in first. And my steam canner is over there just working away. So you're going to get your solids in your jars first. I'm going to do 1 jar at a time because that's how I can. And then they can go over and rest. My husband and I both tasted this. It's wonderful. And I was a little worried that he wasn't going to like it because of the onions, but they're cooked, so he can have them. And a couple more green beans in here, and it's a little celery. You're going to need a 1/2 inch of headspace. So get your ladle, whatever kind of ladle you have, and ladle in your good, delicious marinade. And there's plenty of marinade. I have no worries that we're not going to have enough marinade. So 1/2 inch. This is a little slower, but I don't know about you. I love wood utensils, and anytime I can use them in the kitchen, I'm happy to do so. And they stay right where I need them to. I'm going to grab another jar and get that ready. And then I'll bring you in close and show you up close what really happens. So now we're going to debubble. Debubble, 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 debubble. And this jar is going to go sit and wait for the others. Oh boy, that's so pretty. You want a 1/2 inch. Well, this debubbler tool has a measurement right here. And a 1/2 inch is right there. So 1/2 inch, perfect. You want have it straight up and down, and the bottom of that is going to show you. So I actually need a little bit more liquid in here, not much. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I've got my vinegar. Get the rim. Because there's sugar and there's oil in this, you want to make sure you clean that really, really well. And get my magnetic wand to get a lid on. And of course, I forgot my rings. You know how it goes. Okay, rings. And this goes fingertip tight. This smells so good, you guys. So what I like to do is hold my flat in place with one finger, spin my ring on until it spins, just like that. And now it's ready for the canner. It's hot jars, hot food, hot canner. Look how beautiful that is. And it's gonna be just gorgeous on the shelf. Okay, on to the next jar, and I'm gonna bring you in close so you can see exactly what's going on. Now we're a little closer, better view. Make sure you stir this up really good so your veggies and your beans and all of that is the celery, It's got a little bit of a crunch to it. This is going to water bath or steam can for 15 minutes for my altitude. So you need to check your altitude because it is altitude sensitive. So get that right there. And then we're going to get our liquid in. Brine. Ugh. And I go shy on the veggie just in case one slips into the ladle. You know what I'm saying? It's no big deal. And I love the fact that I use the red bell pepper opposed to green only because, and then debubble, debubble, debubble. Because it's beautiful in the jar. It's so pretty. And let me see, if I turn these lights on, is that better for you guys? I don't know if it is or not, but it's kind of darkening up outside. I think we're gonna get some rain. So, okay, let me get another jar and we'll get moving and a grooving. And the steam canner is great because you can put your jars in there. And let me get my 1/2-inch headspace. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Everything works out. Wipe the rim of your jar, and those jars are hot. Holy Moses. Okay. Get my lid. Hold my flat in place and get my ring on. Oops, this one is cross-threading. There we go. It should go on just that easy. As soon as it turns, I'm ready to go in the canner. Okay. Look at how beautiful. Okay. That's how easy that is. So I'm just going to rinse and repeat, and I'll bring you back when I've got them all in. Okay, guys, I have 9 pints. I am so excited. There's a few stragglers left in there. My canner, I've kept my canner just going like it's supposed to. Get that hat put on. And for my altitude, it has to come all the way over, which is fine. And I have a little sweet spot here on this burner, or at least I think I do. I'm struggling with this stove. Sometimes it does what I'm telling it, and sometimes it doesn't. But I am super excited about having this on the shelf. And I may actually do a whole nother batch, this same volume. 9 pints, that's 9 side dishes, basically. We can eat one of those in a meal, right? So, or throw it into a tossed salad, or yeah, we're gonna have those for side dishes. When you don't feel like having a ton of meat, I think it's a great idea to supplement with beans and legumes that have that high protein, and it's inexpensive. Even though, okay, so gardening season is coming to an end, but plan for next year of making sure when garbanzo beans and kidney beans in the can go on sale, or you could use your own. I think home canned beans would fall apart on you before you got them in the canner. I could be wrong. To make them fresh though, let's say I want to make a green bean salad. You can make that brine and use your home canned green beans, your home canned kidney beans, and a few canned garbanzo beans, which I haven't yet done that. If you'd like to see that video, please leave me a comment down below. And if you've ever done this, please let me know. I would love to hear your experience. Did you marinate for 12 to 14 hours? Did you not? It's going to marinate in the jar. And I am not breaking any canning rules. So, I'm thinking I'm going to do a whole nother batch because I'm going to share some of this too. So 9 side dishes is nothing when you're thinking about a year supply of something. And really and truly, when I can, I try to can 6 months to a year's supply. 6 months on condiments and things that we don't use that often, but something like a side dish or, you know, fruit or meat, something seasonal that we get, yes, we need to plan a year in advance. So yeah, I'll probably do a whole nother batch, and I'm excited. So I'll have to buy some more kidney beans and garbanzos when I'm at the store. I use 2 cans of each. for that recipe. And so I'm gonna go modify what I'm gonna take a screenshot of the recipe and I will have it at the end of the video. So stay tuned. This is going to, once this comes up and I get a nice plume of steam coming out and the temperature says it's where I need to be for my altitude, it's 15 minutes. If you are at a higher altitude, you need to adjust. That screenshot will give you all of the information you need. All right, and the recipe. All right, I'll be back when I'm taking them out. So exciting. Hey guys. So this steam canned for 15 minutes, and then I let it just kind of let some of that steam out with this underneath the lid for a good 10 minutes. I love letting them come down slowly. You get less siphoning, everything in its place. And now, of course, I need my jar lifter. Hello. Oh my gosh, I put stuff away before it's time. So you want to lift your jars out and look how beautiful these are. These are absolutely gorgeous. They're going to be so gorgeous on the shelf. I'm so excited. And we tasted it and I was worried that my husband wouldn't eat it because of the onion, but it needs the onion flavor. And he's only allergic to raw onions. He likes cooked onions, he likes onion flavor, but raw, it's gotta be, yeah, it's not good. So we have 9 pints. I can tell you, I'm gonna do a whole nother batch of this, and just so beautiful with the celery and the peppers, and I love the red bell pepper in there so much. Can you picture if you didn't have that bit of reddish orange in there, it'd be just green? Yeah, it wouldn't be quite as appealing to me. I like the vibrancy of the kidney beans and the red bell pepper. So we're going to take these out. These will sit on my counter and rest until tomorrow. I'm here in jars. 4 jars don't make a ping, they make a pop. So 9 pints. Somebody did siphon. There's a little bit of oil on here. I don't worry about that because that doesn't necessarily mean that your jars aren't going to seal. So I'm going to leave these alone. Tomorrow morning I will come back, take my rings and lids off, or rings, not my rings and lids, but my rings off, wash the jars really good, make sure there's no oil residue or vinegar or anything that might cause, you know, oh, I hear another jar. Anything that might cause a problem down in the pantry. Make sure they're spotless and get my canner washed up tonight. And we have pickled 3-bean salad for our pantry shelf, and I'm super excited. And it's so good. And there's a little container in the fridge. We're gonna have that alongside our dinner tonight. So, all right, guys. Some jars have more beans, some jars have more garbanzo beans. It's kind of fun. I really like it. So if you've ever made this, again, leave me a comment down below. And if you'd like to see me do some more recipes that you haven't seen on my channel, let me know what those might be. What would you like to see me can? Because I would love to keep my pantry stocked as full as possible throughout the winter months, and especially everything that's going on in the world. Prices are going up, up, up. If I can hedge my bets and buy it, right now green beans are on sale. If I can get green beans cheap enough, because I'm done growing green beans, why wouldn't I put this on the shelf, right? Peppers are on sale. All the items in here I can get pretty reasonable. So I think I'm going to do a whole nother batch that same size and get 18 jars. That will get me through a year. All right. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you'll come back next time for another beautiful canning video.